Okay, as I did in the Automotive Kit 1, what you can do video, this is Automotive Kit 2. Automotive Kit 2 uses the ACOM2 adapter to communicate with the three families of Motorola microcontroller, meaning the three families are the 6805 family, the 08908 family, and the 11 family. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the variety of modules. I've got 10, and show you the Motorola microcontroller, what it looks like, and the module in which it is used. Okay, this is an immobilizer out of a BMW. This is an EWS3 module, and let me just take it out of its enclosure, and let's find the microcontroller, the Motorola part. Alright, I broke the case trying to get it out, but let's just remove it. And the Motorola microcontroller, this is a 68HC11 EA9. Not an E9, but an EA9, and it is right here. And let me zoom in so you can get a little bit closer look at it. It's got humidity sealing on it, so I don't know that we'll be able to read the number. Okay, as I said, this is the part right here. It's a 52-pin PLCC. PLCC is plastic leaded chip carrier. So there's no EEPROM on this assembly. The EEPROM is integrated onto the silicon of the Motorola microcontroller. Okay, so this is our first module that I'm going to show you. Okay, this module is out of a Saab. This is a Saab twice module. It actually says Saab twice control unit right there. Take the circuit assembly out of its case, and this is a 68HC05 Motorola microcontroller. It's in a 64-pin quad flat pack package. You would need to connect to this part with the precision probe set because the lead pitch on the leads is quite small. Let me zoom in so you can get a better view. Okay, here we are at close up to the microcontroller, and you can see it's as I said, it's a 64-pin quad flat pack. It's got 16 leads on each side, and this is as I said, it's a twice module out of a Saab. Okay, this is an immobilizer out of a 2006 Chrysler Sebring. It has a 68HC 08 AB16 in it. All right, but it's yet another Motorola microcontroller. Take it apart here, and the way that it comes apart is like this comes out. And here's your Motorola microcontroller right here. All right, I'll zoom in so again you can get a better view. Again, this is a 64-pin quad flat pack, and the best option we offer to connect to these types of packages is the precision probe set. Okay, this is another immobilizer. I think it's out of a Dodge Neon, but I'm not sure. There was no label on this in our module inventory. But again, I'm not going to zoom in because it's pretty well zoomed in. The Motorola microcontroller is clearly visible right here. And it's another 64-pin quad flat pack component. Okay, here we have I think it's an ECU out of a Chrysler product. I don't know which vehicle this from which this module was removed, but it's got a Motorola microcontroller right here. You can see these are pretty easy to identify. I'll zoom in so you can get a better view. But this is a 52-pin quad flat pack part. I think it's probably an E9, but I'm not sure. you'd have to cross-reference the mask number with the documentation that we give you in order to know that. But let me zoom in. Okay, if you look here, you can see that there's no indication that it's a Motorola part other than it has the M with the circle around it. And it was clearly fabricated specifically for Chrysler because their name is on it. Okay, this is an airbag module which incorporates a Motorola microcontroller to store the crash data. And microcontroller is right here. I don't know what vehicle, from which vehicle this was removed, but as I said, what I wanted to do was point out that Motorola microcontrollers are used in a variety of modules. They're not as frequently encountered as the 8-pin EEPROMs, but they are used. So I want to continue and show you some other modules in which you will find these parts. Okay, this is another ECU out of a Chrysler. As I said, I'm not sure which vehicle, the vehicle from which this one was removed. But if you look at the size, this is the Motorola microcontroller right here. This is the biggest package, the biggest PLCC package that you will encounter. It's an 84-pin. It's a 68HC 11K4. And you'll find different series of Motorola microcontrollers. The K series, there's also the KA series. Some of them are, you'll see 52-pin, 68-pin, and 84-pin parts, although the 84-pin parts, you don't see those that often. But what we provide is the connection diagram so you know how to attach the probes to the individual pins on the part. I'll zoom in so you can get a better look at this. Okay, as you can see, this is a relatively large microcontroller. You'll find microcontrollers in some ECUs which are not Motorola microcontrollers. They'll have an 8-pin EEPROM external to the part, which have sometimes hundreds of pins. So let's move on to the next module. Okay, this is an ECU out of a Mercedes. This ECU has starred in another one of our videos, but I wanted to use it again to show you the Motorola microcontroller, which is here. This particular microcontroller is, I think it's an E9, 68HC11E9. It's a 52-pin PLCC. I'll zoom in so you can get a better view. Okay, the lighting's not all that great, but you can kind of see the part number. Anyway, it's another 52-pin PLCC 68HC11 part supported by the ACOM2. Okay, when you work on vehicles, you never know, if you're a repair shop and you work on any vehicle, you never know what might drive in. This is I believe this is an ECU out of a 2002-2004 Corvette. And open this up, take it out of its enclosure. It's dirty. But right here is a Motorola microcontroller. And it's a different kind of package, but nonetheless, it is yet another example of a Motorola microcontroller. I'll zoom in. I don't know that that's going to provide too much more information. Okay, now that I look at it, it's a regular PLCC package. This is a 68-pin PLCC. It appeared different, but the way that the board is laid out, there are pads which are a slight difference away from where the pins are, but it's a regular. This is the kind of the middle package that you'll find. This is a 68-pin package where you have 17 pins on each side. Okay, this is the last ECU I'm going to show you. The Motorola microcontrollers were incorporated by a variety of vehicle manufacturers. Um, the point of this video was to show that they're used in many different modules. But in this case, we have one that's made by Toyota. And let me open it up and we'll show you the microcontroller, the Motorola part in this module. Okay, here it is out of its enclosure. The primary processor is not a Motorola part. The primary processor is right here. The Motorola component is right here. This is a 68HC11E9, and it's in a 52-pin PLCC. This is where it serves its purpose on this module is as an immobilizer. Okay, this is where the key information is stored. The ECU function is here. All right, let me zoom in so you can see this at a little bit closer. Okay, once again, you really can't see the part number because of the humidity sealant, but this is what the processor, the Motorola microcontroller, looks like a little closer. Okay, we would be remiss if we did not show the a cluster which uses the Motorola microcontroller. Sorry for the glare of my light there right in the middle of the cluster. But let's open it up and I'll show you where the processor is on this assembly. Let's flip it over here. Take the back off. This is out of a, it doesn't say. So the Motorola microcontroller is right here. Okay, and I'll zoom in so we can get a better view. Okay, I don't know that you can see it, but this is out of a Ford, pretty old Ford. It says 1997. Motorola microcontrollers, as I said, they were used as soon as the module designers realized that there were components available with the EEPROM integrated onto the silicon. They were used. They were used, as I said, not as frequently as the 8-pin parts, but they were used. The downside to using a microcontroller is that it's a single-sourced element, single-source component, and purchasing people do not like to be forced to use only one supplier. So the 8-pin parts are available from a variety of different manufacturers. So if there's an issue with the supply chain, they can always go to another supplier, but with the Motorola part, they were tied to Motorola. So there are trade-offs. But anyway, this is the last assembly I'm going to show you, and that's since it's a cluster. So as I said, the point of this video is to show you a variety of modules in which the Motorola components are used. And you will not know what you're going to find until you open a module and look. But that will wrap up this video. And as I have said previously, if you like this kind of content and are interested in our products, you can subscribe if you choose to do so. We would appreciate it if you give us a like. And information about all of our products is available on our website, which is arlabs.com.